it's not about just asking someone to calm down or saying that it's just in their head. They're not choosing to be anxious. Hi, welcome to Blooming with BC. I'm BC, a mental health counselor in the state of Florida. Today, we are going to be talking about anxiety. Anxiety is a word we've been hearing about a lot lately. It may seem like some trendy new thing, but it's actually really important that we're having this conversation. Anxiety is the feeling of uneasiness, fear, or dread in anticipation of a future event. I really want to emphasize the anticipation aspect of anxiety. This is what sets it apart from fear in general, because fear is in response to an imminent event. It's an event that you know for sure is coming. Anxiety can be in relation to an event that may never even happen. So those two can overlap pretty regularly. You can have anxiety about an event that is coming, but you can also have anxiety for events that you may have planned in your head, for things that may never even happen, for things that are super far out. That type of fear does not have to be limited to things that are for sure happen. An anxiety disorder is when those fears become so excessive that they disrupt your ability to function. Anxiety disorders are typically chronic and can even develop as early as childhood. Now you may be wondering, what does anxiety even affect? If it's just this fear of something that might happen, why is it such a big deal that we're talking about it all the time? Well, anxiety can affect you behaviorally, cognitively, and even physically. You may develop this hypervigilance that's preventing you from doing your day-to-day stuff. And you may not be able to tell what is safe to engage with anymore. And then you may find it harder to concentrate on the things you are able to engage with because you're worrying so much and you're so afraid of something going wrong. And a lot of times people say that anxiety is just in your head or that they should just calm down and relax. But anxiety has physical symptoms too. You might see things like an increase in fatigue or problems sleeping. Even things like headaches, muscle tension, stomach aches are all aspects of anxiety as well. Some of the more serious aspects of anxiety include increased heart rate, panic attacks where you can't breathe. And of course, like many other mental diagnoses, this will look different for everyone, but you truly will never know exactly what someone who has anxiety is going through. The Anxiety and Depression Association of America says that 40 million adults in the US are affected by an anxiety disorder. Women are twice as likely men to develop an anxiety disorder. And risk factors for anxiety are sometimes things you can't even control. Things like family history, life events, and the chemistry of your brain can all impact whether or not you have an anxiety disorder. And signs of an anxiety disorder often develop in childhood. So no, it's not about just asking someone to calm down or saying that it's just in their head. They're not choosing to be anxious all the time or to live their life with anxiety. This was not something that they can just snap their fingers and go away. And anxiety can last for a long time. Some people find that their anxiety does go away after the event occurs. Others have disordered anxiety and they feel anxiety for months about a variety of situations. And when one ends, they don't really get the relief because their brain is already on to the next anxiety-inducing event. And this can last for months or years, and it can feel like your brain is always looking for something to be anxious about. So what do you do with that? What happens if you don't get treated for anxiety? Well, untreated, it leads to an increase of symptoms. And if you factor that in with the idea that anxiety starts in childhood, that can often be years of untreated anxiety symptoms that are going to need to be worked through. And this can lead to things like decreased work performance, strains in relationship, and it also increases risk of suicide. But how do you treat it? How can you manage this anxiety? Start by talking to your doctor. Medication may be the right answer for managing your anxiety, because keep in mind that sometimes chemical imbalances in your brain can lead to higher levels of anxiety. Schedule a consultation with a therapist. Therapists will teach you coping skills and identify some of the root causes of your anxiety. I've thrown all this information at you. I'm going to give you 3 more ways to get started with managing your anxiety. Number 1, talk to someone. Pick someone that is safe to talk to and will check in on you and support and encourage you while you're in treatment. 2, create a system for yourself. It can look different for everyone, but take some time to think about what anxiety looks like for you. Look for patterns or themes, things that may be a trigger for your anxiety. From there, think of things that have helped in the past with your anxiety and work to make sure you have some of those things on hand for when your anxiety flares up again. Number 3, slow down. I know that is easier said than done, but pause, even if it's just to take some deep breaths for a couple of minutes. Include times to reflect in a healthy way. Maybe it's through music, maybe it's through journaling. Give yourself space to process what's going on. That's not all there is to anxiety, and it looks different for everyone. But it's important to start learning and to start having these conversations. If you want to learn more about anxiety and mental health, you're in the right place. Be sure to subscribe to my channel below and also make sure to follow along with me on social media. If you're a Florida resident and interested in working with me, head to my website in my bio and see if you think we'd be a good fit. I'm offering free 15-minute consultations. That's all I have for now, but I want to let you know that I am proud of you and you are doing good work taking the time to learn about mental health. I'll see you soon.